Hey guys, Tyler Franzen here with the LBZ budget build. We're going into episode 4 and just going to give you a rundown of where we're at with our budget. Just wanted to go back and recap with what we found out about the injectors with Extra G and how that is going to affect our budget with this build.
Three ball seats were bad in that they were out of spec. One was completely washed out. 3 of them had a late end of injection.
So as you guys heard and as you guys saw, we ended up having to spend a little bit more money on our injectors. Originally, we were at around $2,400 to have those stock injectors honed to 100%. But since there was such bad, wear within them, and they had seen some debris and some long, hard miles, we ended up having to go with a set of remans from Extra G, some reman 100%. Now, in a way that affected me, definitely money-wise, it almost doubled what I was going to be spending on fuel for the injectors. It did really dip into my budget a little bit more. I was planning on doing a little more work on the front end, putting like an air locker in the front or an e-locker. So that definitely did cut that out of my budget, so I did have to sacrifice that. Just going to recap everything that we have put into the truck so far. Like I discussed, we did put the 100% overs in, so those are in and ready and running really smooth, getting them dialed in on the dyno. The Stealth 67, we did get that installed in the truck as well. We also did get a Whirly Custom Fab Y-Bridge kit put in the truck. I don't know if maybe some of you had heard, but I did pick up a used Y-Bridge kit for $150, which, in our Duramax diesel market, that's a hell of a deal. Whirly's Y-Bridge kits, I believe, are around $650 for price new. And it was actually a close buddy of mine that had that on Facebook Marketplace, so I shot him a call right away when I saw that. I said, pull it off of Facebook. I need that right now. He met me that night at the bar, and I bought him a couple drinks and gave him $150 for that Y-Bridge kit. So, after I had gone through that hell with the injectors and realizing how much more money I was going to have to spend, buying that Y-Bridge kit was something that I guess made me feel a little bit better about the budget. I didn't have to go out and spend, another, $650 on a brand new Y-Bridge kit. Got our 10 mil stroker pump that we had picked up used for $1,200. And then on to the transmission. I got the truck up in the air. We got a pump rub kit, put in the transfer case. We did do a shift kit in the valve body, and then we also threw a torque converter in the truck. After that, we went to Longhorn Fab parts. We threw their tie rod sleeves on. We also threw their bolt-on traction bars, which were really nice to install. Only took me an hour 45 or so to get those on there. So got the rear end strapped down really solid. And then we threw Big Hitch Productions receiver on. We got their bump stops on, and then we got their their 2-inch, or not 2-inch, but their pulling hitch installed into the receiver. So that was really slick. That went together really nicely. So, the truck is, pretty much all set, good to go. We got everything pretty much into the truck. One of the last things I threw on was our fast lift pump. While I was getting things buttoned up under the hood, I let that fast run for quite a while because, we had the injectors out, all the fuel lines were off, and I wanted that fast to prime up the system for me. Got the truck, squared away, harness is all good to go, fender liners are in, and, we're getting to the point where we're getting ready to start the truck. I did do a few cranks on the truck to get it primed up and get all the air bled out. And, I'm getting really excited because, I'd spent, a couple months getting this thing put together, built. And, I'm staying late every single night till about 10, 11 o'clock at night. My girlfriend's getting pissed off at me. And, I'm getting really anxious to get this thing, on the dyno, on the street, and get it dialed in. So let's take a look at how it all went. So once we got her fired up, we backed it out of the shop. What we did is we let it sit outside and idle for a short period so we can make sure it could get up to temp and make sure our fluids were all good. We did take it up and down the street a couple times, make sure it shifted right, you know, it fueled properly, there was no fuel leaks in the valley or anything like that, made sure nothing I missed. But then, you know, then it was back in the truck into the dyno bay, and we had Bob getting it strapped on, and we were going to get ready to start putting our bass tunes in and then hopefully working it up to the tune that we'll be using when we're pulling. And I was extremely nervous. I sat in the passenger seat most of the time with Bob as he was, you know, really giving her the beat down. I mean, when that thing's on the dyno, it's getting pushed to its limit. Truck's turning over really hard, wheels are spinning really fast, and you know, we got that big fan blower, you know, blowing on the truck and trying to keep the temperatures down on the truck too. I was super nervous. I mean, this truck had not been run hard until the moment that we got everything together. And the numbers we were making with that truck were really impressive. We ended up making 717 horse in the big tune, and that is a stock bottom end. That is pretty much a stock transmission with just a torque converter and shift kit, and big fuel, big air. I mean, I was thoroughly pleased. Bob and I were very excited about the numbers that it had made, and you know, it just made me so much more anxious to get it out on the track and see what it would do. So the truck's off the dyno, we made some good power, and as you can see, the old girl's loaded up and ready to pull. Got my bump stops on the rear and hitches on. As far as I know, I think the truck's all set and ready to pull. So on to our first pull down in Pontiac, Illinois. So be ready for what the outcome is. I'm Tyler Franzen with Duramaxtuner. Thanks for watching, guys.